Hello and welcome to the first few episodes of LoL Chat. This message thing is going to constantly repeat for the first few episodes until I don't exactly have to give a long introduction because people will get the idea or they'll figure it out by going to earlier episodes to figure out what the heck is going on. So basically, LoL Chat is my way of just talking about anything and everything League of Legends related. Champions, champion combinations, overpowered champions, champions that are weak right now, team comp champions, players that being, players with good mentality who are ready to win, assist teammates, those who are completely toxic, and just some of the things that they think about. PvE changes, which is one of the things that I'm probably going to hit to more, and then Riot's thoughts on things, being when they talk about some things. There's something that happens, like Riot when they're talking about pick order to call order, or Riot saying about, well, what if we change the champion to this sort of thing, and, that never gets into the PvE, or anything like that. I probably won't be covering ranked champions, or not ranked champions, ranked players. And by ranked players, I mean the high-level challenger tier, like Wild Turtle and all the other people, whoever they are. I don't really look at that, so I'm not really going to be covering that. And if there's a topic that you want me to cover, put it in the description, and I'll probably notice it and then do a little chat on it if I actually recall to, do that. So, without further ado, here's the first couple episodes of LoL Chat. Hello, and welcome to the third episode of LoL Chat. This time, we're going to be talking about the utility master tree for Season 4. So, this is, of course, the utility tree that we currently have visual of right now. As you can see, there's a lot of blank shields and only 3 spaces. But there seem to be quite a few interesting features in this utility tree, and I'm actually excited for it as a support champion. I'm also sorry that the introduction thing is still hanging around. I gotta have that long little intro going for a few more episodes. So this is going to be probably a pretty big eye-opener for a lot of people with some things, because not many people really support, but they do kind of take into some stuff into the utility at times, mainly for sometimes Vladimir, usually Rise, who usually go for the spam and all that sort of thing. So for anybody who doesn't really normally go for this, it might actually interest them to put a few points into utility and go like a 2109 or something. So, of course, Tier 1, the first thing they give you is Phase Walker. Reduces 1 rank, reduces the cast time of Recall by 1 second. Currently, we have something called Improved Recall, which reduces the cast time of Recall by 1 second, and Enhanced Recall by 0.5. Now, Enhanced Recall is, I believe, in Dominion, is where it is, because recalling is really quick there. It's kind of interesting to see yourself recalling a lot faster, but it always doesn't really happen much. Fleet of Foot, which I believe was actually Sivir's passive right now. I'm not exactly sure if the reworked Sivir has that as her passive. She indeed does have Fleet of Foot right now. The main problem I know with a lot of these things having similar names, or the exact same name for some things, is that Mobifier does not exactly have a good differentiation, I think I'm using that word right, between these things. Like Volibear's Frenzy and the current Season 3 Mastery Frenzy kind of get mixed up between, and it doesn't really want to know the difference. It's kind of funny. But Fleet of Foot, 3 ranks, 0.51, 1.5% movement speed. Now that doesn't seem to have anything else on for not being hit. It is, and currently what we actually have in that exact spot is Wanderer, which is 2% increased movement speed when out of combat, maxed, and it's 3 ranks. It's up by 0.3 every time, or 0.6, I believe. So that's an interesting one. Meditation, 3 ranks, which is just exactly the same it is on live right now in Season 3. 1, 2, 3, mana regen per 5. And then a new thing now, which is Scout. Increase the cast range of wards and trinket items by 10%. Now, this is actually kind of similar to one of its things we already have, which actually increases. We have a. It is Scout, but they moved Scout up. The current Scout we have is wards gain increased vision for the first 5 seconds after placing, and that's 25. This seems to just extend their current range, that you're able to just put them out, which almost seems a little weird, because normally you're not going to be down in the bottom lane and trying to ward an area. If somebody could get close to you or grab you, Blitz and Thresh are just going to nab you if you're going to get nabbed. So there's almost no point in having that as a spell. Sorry, Riot, it's just really bad to have as a thing. I don't know who would actually, depending on the cast range, actually, now that I think about it, because there's some trinkets who actually get further range, so maybe it's like the clarity effect is what they're really going for when you can check an area for long range. I forgot about the trinkets. Tier 2, Conjure 1 rank. Summoned units, traps, and clones have 10% increased duration. This does not work on wards. So this more or less works for Caitlyn, who I guess her traps actually snap. I did not know Caitlyn's traps break, but playing Caitlyn, all of a sudden, trap disappears. It's like, oh, wow, those things actually do break. Teemo Shrooms are actually up for 10 minutes. Nidalee's traps are 4 minutes. Then there's Tibbers and Mordekaiser whenever they get their thing. Yorick's little thing. Shaco's clone. LeBlanc's clone as well could use that, but you're probably not going to be so much for a utility LeBlanc, unless you're just saying screw defense, I want this extra little thing. Summoner's Insight, 3 ranks, reduces the cooldown of summoner spells by 4, 7, and 10. And we actually have something right now, and it is actually called Mastermind. Now, I believe it does actually follow the exact same format of the 4, 7, 10. So it's nothing different. It's pretty much in the same exact tier, so there's nothing real different about that. So they just changed the... they put the name for the Revive, Teleport, Flash, Clarity, Clairvoyance bonuses for the Summoner Spell amplifiers, like when you get Summoner's Resolve with Cleanse, Heal, Smite, Barrier bonuses, and then Summoner's Wrath, which is Exhaust, Ignite, Ghost, and Garrison. And they put that name over Mastermind. Strength of Spirit, 1 rank, requires meditation. Meditation being 1, 2, 3 mana regeneration. Gain health regeneration equal to 10% of your mana regeneration. Now that's something that's actually really interesting, because this is definitely something you're going to be able to use with the Athene's Unholy Grail, or an item that has mana regen. And even if you're somebody who doesn't really use mana regen at all, or mana whatsoever, or Vlad, who picks up the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, he will actually be able to use that to convert some of his, to convert it into to have mana regen and health regen if he wanted to. Being, of course, a utility thing, this goes for supports, and the main problem with some supports is that they don't really have much gold, of course, right now for defense for things. And they do pick up the Philosopher's Stone, the Philosopher's Pebble, which I guess now is actually being renamed, as a lot of the items are being renamed millions of times. So the coin, which are the Philosopher Pebbles, whatever, coin and medallion, Megger's Medallion or something, whatever they're renaming it to, which seems a little weird since they don't look like medallions. Those will actually work with this thing. So 10%, of course, that's not really too much, because you'd more or less need to have, I'd say about how much would you need? Like 100 mana regeneration would give you 10 mana regen. So for every 10 mana regeneration, you get 1 health regen, if I'm thinking right now. So that's not really the most amazing thing, but it is a little bit better than something. And the last one for tier 2, Alchemist, 1 rank. Increases your duration of potions and elixirs by 10%. That's definitely something that some people are probably going to use if they are like top lane, because there are some people who do use elixirs. I doubt they'll put enough points to get down to tier 2 to get this, but it is a thing there, and it is pretty good for supports to be able to get something like that, because they can get more mana and more health out of their potions, and while being able to take most of the damage. That's pretty nice there. Tier 3, Greed, 3 ranks, 0.51, 1.5 gold every 10 seconds. This is actually nerfed from the current. It follows the same exact format, but it does not have a 4 points into itself. It Greed currently at maximum is 2 gold, and this is 1.5 because it's only 3 ranks compared to the 4 ranks. So you figure the difference right there. They did a little bit of nerf to the gold because you're more or less going to get more gold later on. So this is a little bit too much in a way for supports right now. Runic Affinity, 1 rank. Increases the duration of Shrine Relic quest and neutral monster buffs by 20%. And it is literally exactly the same as it is currently on live, in the exact same spot as well, so there's no difference there. That is indeed, so you know where we are, the 3 little shrines there. Moving on, Vampirism, 1, 2, 3% lifesteal and spell vamp, which is exactly the same as it is right now, right next to it. Now, Culinary Master, and this is where the Biscuiteer slot is with the Morgana that you can't see on the thing, but they might just keep it again. Now, this is an interesting one. It's your health potions are upgraded into biscuits that restore 20 health and 10 mana instantly upon consumption. Now, that almost makes it sound as though every time you get the health pot, it's going to instantly be a biscuit, and it's going to have that as a bonus. It's not going to destroy your thing and say, well, you got 150 health pot, now it's gone. Of course, there might be a bug with that some point, but I think right now, probably not. This would actually be pretty good for people to explode poros in Howling Abyss as well, so that would be a funny one to see. I think I said requires Alchemist, which Alchemist is the duration of your potions and elixirs by 10. So they go hand in hand, being an extension, and then health and free mana instantly on yourself. So that can almost stop and ignite from killing you off if you get the 10 or the 10 mana you need to live. So a few clutch plays can actually happen with that. Really, just luck would have to be involved with it, as sometimes it is with Ignite. Tier 4, Wealth, 1 rank. Requirement, Greed, which is the gold per 10. You get 40 starting gold. Now, currently, you can get up to 50 starting gold with Wealth. I don't believe we actually... Oh, yes, Greed is what we... the current gold every 10 seconds. So they moved the name Greed down. Well, they moved... Wait, Wealth. I'm going nuts now. Wait, Wealth. No, they didn't. No, I'm sorry. I'm going nuts. Whoa. Never mind. Wealth is the same. Greed is the same. I'm going absolutely crazy now. But you get 40 starting gold instead of 50 starting gold. But Wealth you needed to put in 2 points for to get 25 each time. And this is just 1 rank. So it saves you a spot for your utility, but you don't get 10 gold. So the trade-off there is probably higher than having a bit more of a start, because I think sometimes you'd actually sit around with a little extra gold you didn't even really like need or use. So probably 40 with the new Philosopher's Pebble and the other gold instantly. Well, first buy gold giving items are probably, there's probably an even amount of like you can get 2 wards and a health pot after that or something. There's probably something beyond that. Anyway. Bandit, 1 rank. Melee grants an additional 15 gold on champion kill or assist. Ranged, you gain 3 gold each time you attack an enemy champion. This cannot trigger on the same champion more than once every 5 seconds. and that triggering is probably for both of them entirely. Now, the interesting thing is that Bandit will work probably the best, I'd say, with a defending Taric or a Leona who goes in, since, that's mostly part of her kit, or Blitzcrank, you'd be able to use that to get the gold. While the ranged is, I believe, the exact same same thing right now, which it's 3 gold for ranged with a 5-second cooldown. So melees are just going to get a lot more gold if they hit somebody, which it's pretty good for them if they can pull somebody. But this more or less encourages, like, hey, be Blitzcrank, pull your target in and get that 15 gold for sucking a guy in the face and being completely annoying while you're at it. So that's a little annoying. This one, I believe, is it's old. The name is old. The concept for getting mana is still there, but they changed it around a little bit. Expanded Mind, 3 ranks to 3.55%, increased maximum mana. So that's, of course, going to be a little bit stronger late game instead of having some mana over time when you get like little mana as you go per level. It's going to be a lot stronger if you actually stack mana. So Rise is going to be using that definitely when he goes down in this part of the tree, and he's just going to be completely annoying with it. That's for one thing. Inspiration, 2 ranks, 5 experience every 10 seconds while near a higher leveled allied champion. So of course, since the AD carry is going to be the one who outlevels you, you're going to at least be able to slowly pick up some gold and slowly build up for your ultimate, because there's plenty of times where Nami needs her ult, Soraka needs her ult, Lulu needs an ult, Leona needs an ult, every support needs an ult, but they can never get it. And if I'm recalling, yes, here it is. They actually have it as awareness, increases experience earned by 1.25, and it goes up to 4 different ranks. Now that's rank 1 is the 1.25, but it increases as it goes. So, not exactly sure how high it goes, since I don't believe anybody actually ever gets expanded mind. So that's probably one that, inspiration is one nobody ever really gets. But it is tempting now, being that it is there. And interestingly enough, they don't seem to say anything on inspiration. It says it's 2 ranks, but there's it's just 5 experience every 10 seconds. So I'm not sure if that's at the flat or if it gets 10 experience every 10 for the second rank. Seems a little weird. Looks like they missed a little bit of information there. Tier 5, or I just don't have an updated version of it because it could be later than sooner, because I know it was like posted twice. Tier 5, Scavenger, 1 rank, requires Bandit, plus 1 gold each time an ally kills a nearby lane minion. And Bandit, of course, is the gain additional gold every time you auto attack for the delay. So that's actually pretty good, because you're going to get more gold out of it, at least I believe. Yep, you from what it seems, Scavenger is giving you the gold, not really giving it to your ally, because just the way it says it, plus 1 gold each time an ally kills a nearby lane minion. So I wouldn't assume it's giving it to them. You're more or less picking it up as a nice little bonus to say that your laner is really good at last hitting, so you're gonna definitely pick up the gold, which is one thing you usually need. Is you try to get some CS, but then somebody rolls right up in your face and it's like, I'm Master Yi, Q, fine, and just destroys everything in front of your face, and you're just like, really? I'm Soraka, I can Q them all. Why, Yi? Why? And then, of course, it turns out he's a toxic player, and it's all like, bitch, I need everything. You don't do nothing. Heal me, please. Okay. Anyway, intelligence. It is the last thing in the tier 5. 3.5, 5% cooldown reduction, and reduces the cooldown of activated items by 4, 7, 10. Now, interestingly enough, they more or less put both things together. Currently, intelligence is 2% as it goes, up to 6% cooldown reduction. So it's a little bit weaker and requires more points. But at the same time, they're giving you the activated items cooldown, which is 7.5, and then double that, which I believe is 15, from Artificer. Now, nobody really used the Artificer because there wasn't really much to it. It was. You could use it for some activated items like the Shirelias, but then you get the Mikhail's Crucible or something else, and really, by the time, a fight ended, you pretty much were either dead or you won, and then by the time everybody starts up another fight, you have it there ready to go anyway. So it didn't really have much of a use being there for anybody. But yeah, so that's that. And then your final thing, which I don't even know if many people will go for this, but some probably will just because it's like one of the better earlier support masteries right now. Wanderer. Currently, it grants 2% increased movement speed when out of combat, and you can get it pretty quickly with 3 points. This Wanderer is 1 point worth, 1 rank, gain 5% increased movement speed out of combat. So that is actually a lot better. Well, somewhat, because I know they had switched around Nimble and Wanderer currently for Season 3. Those ones had been switched around. So currently what's at the very bottom, being Nimble, is now going to be switched with Fleet of Foot, which is up to 1.5. So it's half as strong as Nimble currently is, while Wanderer is 5% and the current is 2. So there's a little bit of a flip around there. But I think it kind of gives an idea of, it's here as an out of combat thing. So if you don't feel like you're going to be out of combat enough, you don't have to worry about going down to it. Rather than, I want Nimble because it's more movement speed for me and I absolutely need it, but I don't really want the anything else. It's like you get down to here, it's like, well, I don't actually want to get anything for pickpocket. I don't need any more cooldown because I've already got the offense's sorcery cooldown. Currently Season 3 stuff I'm talking. And, then it's like 4 points wasted just to get Nimble, which then would be 5 points just to get 3% more movement speed. So now it's, you don't need it. If you don't want it, don't worry. You won't get back to lane faster or run around as fast. That's all. So that's a really nice trade-off there. So I think there's a lot more useful things in here than we currently have. Like right now, we actually have Strength of Spirit, grants up to 1 health regen per 5 seconds for each 400 maximum mana, which I believe is now somewhere in the defensive tree. I believe they took a mana health regen. Is that health regen per mana? Yeah, health regen for so much mana, but they changed it and they put it in the utility. I'm thinking, yeah, for the health regen equal to 10% of your max mana. They adjusted it so it's just 10% of your mana regeneration rather than of your mana, since some champs aren't really going to be running around with so much mana in the first place. Some people go for regen rather than mana for things. So this tree is going to be a lot more stable, I say, for supports and for those who are a little bit more offensive and are going to be using this tree for spell spamming. It's pretty good in that regard too. I am definitely looking forward to this. So really, my thoughts on this are that Phase Walker may not get used, but I'm not sure what they're going to do, if it's going to reduce just regular recall by 1 second, or if it's going to be changed because of Dominion's special recalling. A little bit worried, I'd say. Let's see if there's anything else that I'm a little worried on. I don't think there's really anything else I'm too worried about. It seems Mostly it's just that. That one's going to be an interesting one. The health regen equal to 10% of your mana regeneration. I'll have to more or less think about that myself because I know I'll probably be building the Morellonomicon for its tons of regen, and then the Athene's Unholy Grail whenever I support, because that's a pretty good one to pick up. So this has been the third episode of LoL Chat, and I am out. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.